What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. How we doing today, Casino?
Pretty darn good. Outside of I
I
slept
don't think your
wrong.
microphone is plugged in.
What?
You sound very echoey.
All right.
This is live. We're doing it
live.
live.
You didn't say anything earlier.
I know, because I couldn't. We were 5 minutes late recording this live because we were doing our TikToks. But we are here to talk. I mean, we have so much things on the docket. I know we're not going to get to it all because not only are we starting late, I have to go pick up my son from the bus stop at like in an hour and 8 minutes. There's no way we're going to get through everything in an hour and 8 minutes, but we're going to talk about week 4 in the NFL, week 5 in college football, the
Better?
MLB playoffs, maybe
we
do
doing?
a top 10 list if we have time. There's too many things, Casino. Too many things.
Do I sound better, by the way?
No, you do. But
Okay. I was like, I don't know what to do here. Well, let's start off with the easiest thing of the week, MLB. Because people, let's get them engaged. Let's get them engaged because nothing sounds like engaged. I don't know. I'm just working on this. This is live. We're looking great.
I don't know where you were going with that.
I don't know. I was trying to snowball, see if things worked. But let's get to the MLB. By the way, both of our teams are in it. Let's go. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, I think the Phillies have a real shot of making it to the World Series. And again, if they can get past the Dodgers, I think the Dodgers, much like they were in the preseason, even though they're the 3 seed in the NL, I still think they're the team to beat, and I think everybody is scared to play the Dodgers. So
I will be honest. I think every team that has made it, every team that made the postseason right now, I could see potentially making a run. Like a lot of good teams right now. I think every team is like separated by 10 games. It's not that much when you play.
And we have a request already, Casino. Somebody says, talk about the effing Mets. That's from the Great Megamind. Great movie. So talk about the Mets, Casino. The people are craving it.
I mean, well, the Mets got eliminated. I mean, I'm more of an AL guy, but we could kind of talk about the NL. They were in second. Ow, damn it. They were in second over in your NL East, behind your Phillies. They were 83 and 79. They had a chance, but there was just too good. It was coming down between the Cubs, and the
Reds.
Sorry,
yes.
I see the C's over there. That's what I'm looking at. And they just blew it towards the end. So as I'm looking at it, they were both the same record, but I guess it came down to the run differential here. No, not even that. So I don't know why the Reds made it. I'm not too familiar with how that works. Again, I was watching more of the AL race.
This guy says he hates Carlos Mendoza. I think if you're a Mets fan, I think if you're a Mets fan, the fact that at one point you were ahead of the Phillies in the East, and you were before the season, you got the big free agent signings. You got and he also says season series. That's how they got in over him.
Got it.
But
Makes
you
sense.
were hyped as a Mets fan coming into this season. At one point, you were in first place. And then all of a sudden, here come the Phillies. Rest of the NL just catches on fire. You start slipping a little. And then before you know it, season ends and you're on the outside looking in. I think, again, there's nothing worse in all of sports than when at one point you're like, my team's not only a contender, we're going to be, we're going to be one of the best teams. And then all of a sudden, this reminds me of the Eagles a couple years ago, where it was like they were 11-0 and then just shit the bed the entire rest of the season, then got their ass kicked by the Bucks in the playoffs. Like, it hurts. Nothing hurts worse than a collapse in sports. But so there's your obligatory. I love how we're previewing the MLB playoffs and talking about a team not in the MLB playoffs.
That's totally fine.
The guy says, can I call in? Sure, if I knew at all how to do that, or if we had a number, or if I knew how to patch you in. So if I knew how to do that, absolutely. I don't. So thanks, great Megamind. We're gonna switch from teams out of the playoffs to teams in the playoffs. So sorry about your Mets. You're on mute, Casino. Uh but yeah, my Phillies, speaking of the East, they finished 96 and 66, 55 and 26 at home, 41 and 40. Oh, why we just lose Casino? 41 and 40 away. Again, I do think if you're looking at the playoffs right now for the NL, you have to just look at the Dodgers. I don't care about any of the teams above them. I don't care what the record says, what all right, you're back.
I mean, the start of this episode has been absolutely horrifying and rocky, one would say, rocky, just like the Rockies in the MLB, who are just horrible. Which I don't know. Before we get into that, did you see the stats on the year on what the Rockies' run differential was?
I did, and I remember being like, "Holy shit!" But I don't have those numbers pulled up in front of me.
So
I know you do.
the second worst is 212 with the Washington Nationals. The Rockies were 424.
Jesus
They let
Christ.
they let 1,021 runs go on them so far this season.
Well, we were talking
Nuts.
a couple months ago how the Rockies were like on this historic. I mean,
Oh
they
yeah.
lost 119 games. That is almost impossible in Major League Baseball. That is insane. What the next closest person was, or the next closest team was the White Sox, who lost 102. Like, so they lost what, almost 20 more games than the next closest team to them. That's insane. Insane. Especially again when they're in a division with a bunch of the best teams in the West. You would think they're actually think their record would be worse. I'm surprised they only lost 119. But enough about the NL. Obviously, we know I don't think the Padres are going to do anything. I don't think Cubs, Reds are going to do anything. I really think it's obviously Brewers if they
One,
have
two, or three. It's giving Brewers, Phillies, or Dodgers.
yeah. And I think again, if you're the Brewers or the Phillies, you're just hoping you don't play the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You're
say
hoping the
so.
Reds
Obvious. I
knock
don't
them
think
out.
that I don't think the Reds are gonna beat the Dodgers. I mean, just not gonna happen. So, being the Phillies having that bye and then having to play the Dodgers most likely, do you think the rest is going to hurt your team?
No. Well, no, because again, are you one of those people that thinks when
Well,
it
that's my
comes to
question.
uh I don't think I'm one of those, especially in I don't think I am in baseball or basketball or hockey for that matter, because it's not a one or you win one you or you lose, right? What I'm saying is
There's
it's
a
not one
series.
game. Yeah, it's a series. So if it was one game like it is in football, I would rather just play through. I
That's
think
fair.
we've seen more than enough where it's the best team gets a bye week, lose all momentum, and then you're kind of you know, you're sitting at home watching a team you thought and knew you were better than playing in a game that you knew you should have won.
Yeah. So
So
I'm right there with you. I would say hockey though is in the same where I don't like the bye situation or like taking time off. I mean, they don't get that, but I wouldn't want that anyway because your goalies taking more time off is rough on them. You want to keep them in the flow and in that mindset. So like if you sweep a series and then all of a sudden you have to wait a week and a half before you play again, that's not good. But I agree with you in baseball. I don't think that would help do any negative effects. I think that's only going to help the Phillies. But so moving over to the AL now. Very happy other coworker, he's from Seattle, happy that the Mariners made it. And not just that, but the Houston Astros just completely bombed at the end of the season and they did not make the cut in the playoffs,
thank God.
which is
Thank
outstanding.
God.
I'm so happy they're not in. The fact that you get to see Seattle in and
Mhm.
not Houston, it's just so refreshing. It's refreshing as hell. Um, I'm really excited for the AL because all these teams are extremely close. They're really close in wins. That the Red Sox Yankee series is going to be great. I know
Well,
most people.
also the great Megamind says the Yankees won 8 in a row. Yes, they did because there was what, 2-3 weeks ago where it was like, are the Yankees even going to get in? Are the Red Sox even going to get in? And then
Oh yeah.
they rattled off a bunch of wins and
Yeah,
they're both in
they
now.
were yeah, I mean, they looked absolutely fantastic trying to chase down the Blue Jays. Um, and I'm really excited for this series because early on in the season, the Red Sox had the Yankees number. The Yankees did get the best of the Red Sox in this latest series. Between them, the Tigers and the Guardians, that's going to be fun. They're kind of doing the same exact thing over there towards the end of this season, seeing kind of who's going to hit what. So I'm very excited for the AL. The NL, again, it's 3 teams. I could see any team from the AL going to the World Series. Like
Yeah.
every single one of these teams could go to the World Series, and I wouldn't be shocked. I would be shocked if the Reds, Cubs, or Pods made it to the World Series. But let's go Phillies, Red Sox. That'd be fun. Something else for us to talk about.
Ooh, that would be good. We could do
So
a bet where the loser shaves their head live on the podcast.
I would do it.
I would
I
too.
have no issue. I wear hats 95% of my. That's been brought up more than once, maybe even by you and our group of friends. But that bet has been like, "You're gonna shave your head," and I'm like, "Okay." Like
Well,
it's hair; it grows back. Like
you're
when I get my hair cut, I go down to ones anyway.
your entire life, I've always either seen you wear hats or beanies.
Yeah,
That's been our entire relationship, hats or beanies. My hair, I don't like hats or I don't really like hats or beanies.
I
So
just
my
remember the
hair's
time
always
that
out.
you were blonde, bleach blonde.
Well, that was, I mean, my hair just got darker as I age, but
Wild.
yeah,
It's
I
funny
know.
enough, I actually it's funny that we were talking about hair color and, back in the day. My son just pulled out my yearbooks, and I did look you up, and I did see it, and it's
Yeah.
pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I
I
like it.
mean,
I mean, I had a mop for a head of hair, but you looked great. You looked great. It was
thank
nice
you
and
so much. I
spiky.
will one
I
day.
like the suave look with the beard. You look better than all the pimply bleach blonde bleach
I'll
blonde
put
hair up there.
it is crazy to look at my first driver's license when I was like 16, 17. I'll bring that on the show one day and just show the picture on it. It's insane.
So,
But
one of my
let's do
I know we're still talking about hairdos. I mean, this show we're gonna have to just speed through this show anyway.
well,
So
let's to put a pin in the postseason. You said we said who we want, which is obviously our 2 teams in the World
who
Series.
is
No
it gonna
shit.
be?
But who do you think is going to be representing the AL and NL in the World Series?
Man, I'm gonna stick with my pick from before the season started, which it's going to be. I don't remember who I picked out of the AL. I think I even maybe said Yankees, but
I think you did say it was going to be
it's
Yankees Dodgers
Dodgers
repeat.
Yankees. Yeah, so I'm gonna just stick with the Yankees Dodgers repeat, just because that's what I said, and I should stick to it. My gut from right here, though, my gut from right here, I will probably. You know what? I'm gonna probably go Mariners, Brewers. That's realistically what I think it's going to be. But I'm going to stick to my Yankees, Dodgers take.
Well, Megamind again brought up a good point, which he said they need Judge to hit this hit this postseason, not like last year.
I mean, that's
So,
very true. That's very
but
true.
he was
Especially,
basically the reason of their winning streak, of them kind of vaulting into playoff contention. But I still think I'm going. Obviously, I think I'm going Phillies. Again, I'm scared of the Dodgers. I don't want to see the Dodgers again. So I'm picking Phillies and I'm going to pick Mariners out of the AL. So I'm going the 2 seeds will make it to the World Series. So it'll be Seattle Mariners, Philadelphia Phillies, with Phillies taking it all. Because and then we can start being what is it? We can start being Title Town, and then
no, you're
everybody will
not
get
taking. No, 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 you ain't taking
everybody
that.
will get
You're
really
not taking that
excited,
from.
and then the
No,
NBA season will start, and the Sixers will just completely shit the bed. We'll trade Joel Embiid before the trade deadline, and then everybody will be in a panic. So I'm going Mariners, Phillies. I just don't want to see Yankees, Dodgers again. I just don't want to
I
see
don't
it.
want to see that at all. At all. Zero. I mean, Seattle just sounds very refreshing.
And Great Mega Mind agrees with me. He says Phillies Mariners,
There you
but
go.
he thinks
I mean,
Seattle's gonna upset.
uh,
So
fair
same
enough.
matchup,
Seattle looks
different
great.
winners.
Seattle looks great. I mean, they're hitting bombs left and right. So All
And,
right.
all the game ones start tomorrow, and most of them are on ESPN, so now I'll actually be able to watch the games and not have to, search around for them,
Still don't
whatever.
wanna buy that stupid $30 a month more.
I
That
did.
that's so
I will
expensive.
I'll
That's
give it to you.
insane.
I'll give the
Well,
login to you.
we'll split it. We'll split it. We'll figure it out.
All right, let's move off MLB and go to, actually, let's do college football
Yeah, let's just touch
because
on the college. It's been fun. We've been meaning to touch about it, but we just haven't. We'll just have to fly through the NFL stuff today, but
yeah.
that's just again,
I'll tell you
life.
what is it? I watched 2 of the best games of college football I've seen in a long time, and both of them happened Friday night. The Virginia Florida State double OT
Phenomenal.
game, fantastic. The storming of the field, again, people are already
That was
saying it's the best storming of a field we've ever seen
that
because it
one
was
that one was so
immediate.
worth it.
It was immediate. It was like I didn't even know if the guy caught it or not, and they're already flooding the field. That was fantastic. I was rooting for Virginia the whole time. I've just never been
Oh
a
yeah.
Florida State fan.
Yeah.
I just
One
don't
one of
like
my
Florida
old
State.
coworkers, you've met him plenty. The other one that when I worked at the other spot, diehard, he's from Virginia, diehard Virginia fan. He went to school there and everything. And I didn't get a response until the next day, but he's like, "Yeah, I lost my mind." He's like, "I couldn't find my phone for forever. That's why it was a late message." And yeah, then and this guy, he's almost 50, and he was just like, "This was the greatest. This was the greatest." Like just freaking out. I'm so
Yeah.
happy.
And then not only that, so that happens on Friday night,
So
and then
good.
on Saturday night, we get 2 just absolute monster games that are playing simultaneously. So I was at work when this happened. It was on both TVs, and it's just one TV is Alabama, Georgia, one TV's Oregon, Penn State that goes into OT. The
But
bar
the
is crowded.
haymakers at that the Oregon game was just phenomenal. Like that whole fourth quarter was just back and forth. It was great.
And also, Honey Bun says casino has infinite coworkers. That
I
is
do.
true.
Well, I have a
How
lot of
many
I
people do
do
you work with?
well, I talk sports with people all the time, and so I mean, actually, I do have quite a bit of coworkers at where I'm currently at, and I will be talking about another one coming up right now.
I actually don't know. I think I know like 2 sports teams that my coworkers
Oh,
root
no.
for. Everybody else,
See,
we never talk
I'm
sports.
lucky enough that all like my 3 previous places that I have worked, they every coworker that I've worked there, maybe outside of like 2, are all into sports. And this one I'm about to talk about right now, like he is a very good uh gambler, I guess would you say, but I don't even want to say that because he's successful at it. Like he's played professional poker and stuff like that, and he sports bets and he's really good at it. He kind of does what he does for like a side gig here, working with me. But he had an 8-teamer going. All he needed was the Georgia to win, and he had some money lines through that as well. He bet $100. If Georgia would have won, just Georgia winning, all they had to do was win, he would have won 18 grand.
Jesus.
But
Uh
like that would have devastated me. That would have crushed my soul. And I was even like, because I was working with him that night, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, it happens." And I was just like, "Really? Like really?" But again, that's his main thing that he does, and he's very successful at it. That he was just like, "Oh, that would have been nice," but it was only $100 bet. It's like,
Ugh.
dude, nuts.
Let's talk about that game, and then we'll talk Penn State,
Okay.
Oregon. Alabama Crimson Tide win 24-21 against the Georgia Bulldogs. It is insane that again, after the Alabama Crimson Tide lost their first game against their second game against Tennessee, I saw so many people online just be like, it is time to what is it? It is time to fire the head coach. Like we've seen
All
enough.
day.
We're over all that kind of stuff. And then Alabama again goes into ranked Georgia and then kind of, if you watch that game, kind of dominated them.
Yeah,
It
they handled it
never
pretty well. Every time I looked up, it just seemed like Alabama was running the show.
Yeah, it never felt like Georgia had a legit chance to win
Mm-mm.
that game, even though it was a one-score game. It just felt like, again, Alabama was in control, and then they end up pulling out the win. But yeah, I don't know. Again, you look at Alabama and you're like, this isn't a Nick Saban Alabama team. It doesn't mean it's a bad team. Like, you look at what's happened to some of the other powerhouses, like what happened to Clemson. It's not like Alabama's fallen to that level. It's just
Right.
they're not the clear number one dominant team in the nation. They're top 10 in the nation. They're ranked 10 right now, and that's where I'd probably put them.
I mean, what stuck out to me in this game though was Ty Simpson for Alabama and how he was really distributing the ball like
Mhm.
really, really well. He had what 2, 4, 6, 8. He distributed to 8 different players, and they were all right around that 40 mark is kind of where the average is out on yards. Their running backs, they all shared carries. They looked really good there. It was a very well dispersed game. Georgia, on the other hand, it all pretty much just came down to Chauncey Bowens, and yeah, just they didn't look like they had any control in that game at all. So the fact that that's a testament to Georgia, though, right? Being again within a three-point game, and they were right there in that game when it looked like Alabama was just running all over them the entire game. So
Yeah.
I'm sad that Alabama's 3-1 because I want them to miss the playoffs again. Again, I just don't like Alabama. Just can't.
No.
Not a big Georgia guy either, though. Not at all. So you have any more on that, or can we move to a team that I do like and a team that I do dislike?
Yeah, let's move over to Oregon Penn State. Again, I think the obvious story when it comes to Penn State is their coach, James Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And this is his record against AP ranked
It's
teams.
bad.
He is 15-28 against any team in the top 25. He is 4-21 against any team in the top 10, and he is 1-15 against any team in the top 5.
Yeah,
So,
it is
by
not
any way you
good.
want to slice it, that is abysmal.
Yeah,
Especially when you're at
you
it's not
can't
like
if
he's
you
playing.
can't win the big games,
Yeah.
you need to get a different because that comes down to coaching, right? Because obviously you've got a good team. You have a good team. You're ranked third going into this game,
And you're at a big
um,
program.
and you're in a big program. And I mean, granted, you
Epstein's
did.
favorite team.
And so I was gonna say, and so I do like the Ducks, and I dislike Penn State. I've always disliked Penn State even before all of that happened with their program. So not saying that good that happened to the program, not saying that at all. But I just was not a fan of that program. Funny thing with the whiteout, they were very successful with their whiteout going into that. I love that Oregon wore their white away jerseys, and it was just like, okay, you're gonna do a whiteout. Here you go. Like we are gonna lean into your whiteout. We're going all white. Like I thought that was really great. I mean, I know typically if you're on the road, you wear white jerseys or lighter jerseys, but it's Oregon here. They have an abundance of jerseys. They could have picked anything, but they're like, oh, they're doing the whiteout. Let's go all white. Let's do it. I thought that was great. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this was a great game. I did have somebody in my bar who was an Oregon fan, and this gentleman had to been like in his late 60s. No joke, like late 60s. He was older than my parents. It was really funny. And when they won, he just goes and he was loud the whole time. Apparently, he was there at noon. I got in at 7, and he was still there doing his thing. I mean, his tab wasn't nuts, but he was definitely feeling it. And so when they won, he was like, "That's my team," and we're just like, "We know."
But the story of this game really is, what is it? Oregon had almost double total yards, double
Oh yeah,
passing yards, double rushing yards, almost a full 2 yards more per play. They just outworked them, outgained them, pretty much every aspect in the game. And again, if you're the Penn State Nittany Lions, if I can
there it
say
is.
that name, you have to really look at your coach and just be like, his record is
Bro.
so abysmal against top 25 teams. It's not like
Mhm.
we're Eastern Michigan. It's not like we're it's not like we're, playing in the MAC where you're just like, of course our record's bad against top 25 teams. Your Penn State, you're always going to be playing top 25
Yeah.
teams. So if you're that abysmal against teams that you should be on the same level, then how can you even make the justification where it's just like, this is the right guy?
I totally agree. And the Oregon coach, his name blanking. Anyway, but he's fired up about that team. Did you see his post game conference? I think he was still on the field actually being
Yeah.
interviewed, and like he's
Dan
all
Lanning.
Dan Lanning, thank you. He's all worked up about it. I loved this game so much, and not just because everybody in the bar was super into it, but there was very little penalties. There were 6 total in the entire game. 4 for Oregon, that was 34 yards, and then 2 for 10 yards for Penn State. Very, very good game. And the only turnover the entire game was the pick to seal it in double OT.
Yeah.
And this was just a really, really fun game. I mean, Penn State was 3 for 3 on the 4th down. And Oregon was 4 for 7 on the 4th down, which again, a lot of that has to do towards the end of the game, but still very fun. This is one of the better college football games I've seen in a long time.
Well, also, and I agree. Also, in that double OT, what is it? Oregon goes down and wins or does the touchdown, fails the 2-point conversion. The very next play on Penn State's possession, he throws a bad. There's no way else to
No, there
there's
was
no way
3
to
guys there.
sugarcoat it. Yeah, it was a bad interception. First offensive play of double OT to just lose the game, especially again at home.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it was
such a home
a
field
great
advantage.
pick because it was high and it was, it was high and it was back shoulder and he was able to somehow torque his body to catch that pick. It was going to go out of bounds anyway, but why throw that ball? That was, I
I have
mean,
no
there's
idea.
3 guys there. That was super bad. Well, pretty much outside of that, the other game I liked was another 2 top 25 teams. You had the Illini playing USC, and I'm
Oh, that was good
really,
too.
really glad that USC lost. I've never been a fan. It's one of those things where we're from Vegas, right? Everybody just tries to hammer California teams down your throat or Texas teams down your throat, and I'm like, stop. I don't want to be a USC fan. I don't want to be a Trojan fan. Please stop. So Illinois coming out and taking that W made me really happy. Also, by the way, little shout out talking about Vegas. Our UNLV Rebels are still undefeated. They didn't play this weekend, but they're still undefeated. They do have 3 votes. Let's see if we can get them back in the top 25 this year.
Oh, there you go. And speaking of being fans of California teams, my college team has always been UCLA.
Yeah, you
They are
Bruin.
currently 0-4 and one of the worst teams in college football right
Yep.
now. So
Yep.
that's
The Rebels beat them.
Yeah. Yeah. But right now, let's look at the top 25 and then we'll move on. We have Ohio State, Oregon 1-2. I honestly think Miami at 3. They're the team that I think when I watch them has looked the best of these 3 teams.
Yeah.
With Miami. Then we
I mean,
have Ole Miss.
all 3 of those teams. That's who should win is one of those 3 teams. They look all phenomenal.
Well, except, we talked about in the TikTok, we talked about Chargers charging. When will Oregon inevitably lose a game they shouldn't? Because that happens to Oregon every single season.
It's not until the late parts of the season.
That's true. We're a month
Yeah,
away from Oregon just having a catastrophic loss.
They do it at the end.
Let's see. They're going to play Rutgers, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, USC, Washington. Again, they're going to lose to USC or Washington.
I was literally about to say it's going to be Washington. It's going to be Washington because of that rivalry. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
We're putting money on it. And then to round out the top 10,
yeah, that'd be fun.
To round out the top 10, it's Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Penn State, Indiana, Texas, Alabama. Again, Texas was the perennial number 1 favorite, and then they had again that score against Ohio State was 14-7. That was a blowout. You watch that game. Texas never looked like they were on the same level as Ohio State that entire game, and now they've beat up San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston their last 3 games. So they literally don't play anybody until they play Oklahoma in 2 weeks. And then they have to end the season playing Vanderbilt, Georgia, Texas A&M. So I think we will finally put a Longhorn in the season of the Texas Longhorns at the end of the season as well. So,
Yeah.
but other than that, anything else to talk about with
No, we're half an hour into the show. You've got to leave at a certain time. We got about a half hour to touch on NFL.
yeah. What is it? We
And
also I'll
if
shout out this guy. I have no idea what he's talking about. Abdul Aguilar says, I Bartley am here. What how's it going? And then he says, heartache, what Bartley can do to ensure, I don't know what that means. A giveaway to ensure a happy face. I'm assuming this is spam, but if it's not, I don't know what you're saying. But we'll shout out everybody. And then great Megamind, he said, it's nice knowing you leave a chat. He just wanted to talk, MLB, but not MLB
and we
playoffs,
will
strictly Mets.
and we'll talk more MLB coming later on as the playoffs go. And I won't have any mic issues this time, and I won't be a little flabbergasted as we started the show. We'll get we'll get that figured out, and we can have a better discussion moving forward with you, Megamind. Hope you come back. Hope you could continue talking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it was
also
just
I
a
put
weird.
this little thing
It
where
was a
they
weird
show
start
on
to
the
the
thing.
show. Weird start to the show.
So let's move on. We talked to MLB, we talked college football. We're probably gonna have to do the top 10. We'll move to next episode.
No, we could just go through it.
I'll make a nice little presentation for that. Now let's talk NHL, NFL, and what
I mean,
was
I'll
week
talk NHL. I'm ready. We'll get
what
that in
was
Casino's Corner next week.
exactly. What was week 4 of the NFL? Let's first just briefly touch on Thursday's game since we didn't. Oh, also, I did not do a Friday show because I went to the dentist on Friday and they did that thing where they numb the shit out of your mouth. So I could literally not talk. I didn't get out of there till noon, and I was going to do the show at 12:30 and I was like, "Oh, I can't talk." Like that's probably going to be an issue. So that's and then I literally couldn't talk until like 6 or 7 that night. So
Luckily, you're off on those days. So no, wait, you
yeah.
still have to work,
No,
right?
no, I went to work.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
But again, by 7, I was good.
okay.
But the Seahawks won 23-20 in a game where the Cardinals almost came back in the fourth quarter. Quickly, Casino, thoughts on this one?
I thought Sam Darnold played pretty dang good. 242, 18 for 26. He looked good. Kenneth Walker played a nice game. Again, Kyler Murray, 2 picks. They could have been in this game. I'm not high on Arizona. I think this game was fairly close just because they were in Arizona.
And it was
But
a
yeah,
Thursday night game.
and it was a Thursday night game, right? And in division, those are all weird setups for,
Why do they
disaster.
keep putting these
I
division
don't know.
games on Thursday
I
nights?
don't know. It is what it is. I mean, they mean a lot, but Kyler Murray, as short as he is, and this is again me not trying to be mean to him. I mean, it's kind of me trying to be mean to him, but you're trying to throw the ball 41 times. That's a lot, dude. That's a
Yeah.
lot for somebody who legitimately, jokes aside, has trouble looking over the offensive line. Like that's a realistic thing that happens, So
Yeah.
again, I mean, whatever. So good for the Seahawks. They're 3-1. That division is fun. And I'm really, really happy that the Seahawks are tied for the top in that division. Let's go, Seahawks. They're
It's
in
a
my power
three-way
rank.
tie right now, and
Yeah.
Cardinals are only a game and a half back.
Yeah.
So
And it's
again,
crazy. All 3 of those, spoiler, all 3 of those teams, I do have in my top 10 power rankings.
that is
I
true.
I like them.
Yeah, but honestly, I think right now it's kind of maybe I would switch Seattle and San Francisco, how it's, structured right now, where it's Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals. I think I would do Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals. I think Cardinals are clearly the worst team in that division. You look at their total offense is 26, total defense is I just saw it, is 24th. So they're bottom half of the league in both offense and
And
defense.
we got
And
to
I
take into
think,
consideration though, that these teams aren't necessarily playing the top tier teams as of yet, and they're kind
yeah,
of beating up on each other currently. So we'll get into that.
yeah. I just think when you watch the Cardinals play, you're more confused how they have wins compared to how they have losses.
Mhm.
And then with Seattle, again, their defense is top 11. Their offense with Darnold is humming. I wish for my fantasy sake, they would stop having Kenneth Walker on the field until they get in the red zone where they just switch him out for the Charbonnet or however the hell you say his name. He gets
Chardonnay.
He gets every red zone carry, even though Kenneth Walker will break off an 80-yard run and get tackled at the 5. It's God, it annoys me. I hate it so much. And again, in this game, Kenneth
This was supposed
Walker,
to be brief on this.
81 yards, Chaberday 39 yards and a touchdown. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Especially when you're watching Seahawks games and you're just like, my guy looks great. Oh, they're within a touchdown. Why is he off the field for all 4 plays? It drives me insane. Next up, let's move to the Steelers Vikings. 24-21
Yawn.
in Dublin.
Sorry, I
I
say yawn
slept
because
through
this
the
was so
entire
early and I
game.
was not waking up.
Oh, great. Megamind's back. He says, boys are back. Well, now we're
Boys, I'm back. Let's
talking.
go.
So thoughts on the Mets? No, we're talking. We're talking
Um,
Vikings Steelers in Dublin. I slept through this entire game.
yeah,
And
100%. I mean, I didn't get home until about 2, and I was like, nope, yeah, not doing this. Not doing this. So DK Metcalf, pretty good game. I mean, he did have it was a good game for him, but obviously most of that came off that 80-yard touchdown pass from Aaron Rodgers, which pretty much was the dagger for that Minnesota team. Aaron Rodgers looked pretty good, 18 for 22. He had a touchdown. He protected the football. It was nice, right? It looked nice. Carson Wentz, let's get to him. He's the real story here.
yeah.
Boy, I don't know if they would have done any better if they had JJ McCarthy in. I don't think they would have.
Well, he
But
definitely wouldn't have passed for 350 yards.
oh, he wouldn't have done that but I don't think they would have had JJ McCarthy trying to throw 46 times like they did
That's
Carson
true.
Wentz.
Dude, if you have Carson Wentz circa 2025 and you're trying to win games by having him throw 46 times, him only having 2 interceptions and being 6 times or being sacked 6 times feels like he actually outperformed what you would think he would do if you said he's going to pass the ball 46 times.
Right.
That's
And
insane.
so it's kind of tough to be upset with him on that because you have him again, an older quarterback throwing it 46 times. He did have 2 interceptions. So again, once you reach past the 40 mark, if you get 1 interception in that, to me, I'm giving you that, right? I'm going to give you that. But Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, they both were over 100 yards. Addison with that 181 yarder. They both looked good. I mean, he was slinging the ball, but Wentz is too old to be thrown that many times. Those 2 picks really hurt him. That's pretty much cost them the game. That was the game. Outside of that, they played well. I feel
And
like
then you look at what is it? You look at the Steelers and what Rodgers did. He only passed for 200 yards. One of that was the 80-yard DK Metcalf play. So outside of 80 yards, he had 120 passing yards the entire game. Again, Vikings defense is good. Vikings offense is, again, it's weird because the offense looked really bad with McCarthy, really good with Darnold, and you have this kind of perfect guy in the middle of those 2 things with Wentz, which is, if you can just get Wentz to protect the football, which has always been an issue for him because he's always been like I'm going to run around, improvise, hold on to the ball too long. If you just get him to get the ball out quicker and avoid those turnovers, I really do think we can see a Darnold-esque season from what we saw last year with Darnold. Obviously not to the heights he reached, but
totally.
if we can get 70% of last year, the Vikings are going to be fine.
Yeah. And you know what? We can't give Carson Wentz too much hate because he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, right? I mean, off the bench. But anyway, so let's move on to our big listener today, Great Megamind. Let's get into his game. He's a Bills fan. So let's talk about that. And yes, I did watch that game. And I did see that tackle or the 4 tackles broken by Shakir. I had him on my bench, and I wish I didn't because other players that I had starting didn't do so well. But Bills 4-0. You got the Saints 0-4. What I liked about this game was Rattler. And I like the fight of this team. I like the fight of the Saints. My issue with the Saints is they just have 0 people. We've been talking about it consistently.
Yep.
They just have nobody, but they try. They're out there. They're working hard. I think they would have been a pretty okay team if they had if
literally any guy whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if nothing against Rattler, but if Derek Carr was in there, they could have made these games probably a little bit closer. You and I are higher on Carr than most people were. And yeah, so Buffalo looked good. Josh Allen looked fine. James Cook, he took over the game like he did, was it game 2? So, looked good. I mean, I like the Bills. I worry about their defense a little bit, but I'm wondering if the Bills are just kind of pulling back a little bit and they're not trying to overdo it or show their big plays early on in the season, and they're just kind of they know they're going to win, so they're just doing what they need to do to win. I think that
Well,
showed a lot when they have Cook run 22 times.
Well, I mean, the elephant in the room with the Bills being 4-0 is every team they've played right now, their combined record, I think, is 1-9, something like that, because they've played a winless Dolphins team, a winless Saints
So the
team,
Giants have won.
or
Oh,
they've
that's
played the
preseason.
Jets.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I was looking at preseason pulled up. Yeah,
So, yeah, the teams
one.
they played are Jets and Dolphins, who haven't won a
Yeah,
game.
one.
They played the Ravens, who have won one game, and then they obviously just played the Saints, who have not won a game.
So
So,
you're saying my Patriots have a chance. You're
well,
saying
I'm
my
not.
Patriots have a chance.
I'm saying you look at these Bills games and these Bills teams, it's not like they're absolutely destroying these teams. It's especially you look at the Saints game, that was a back and forth for a while until Josh Allen came on. It was You look at the Dolphins game, Allen had like 150 yards and Dolphins were kind of in it till the end. You look at the game he kind of got knocked out with his bloody
Mhm.
nose or whatever. Like, these are not impressive victories for a Bills team that last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago would have been annihilating these teams by 30 points.
Yeah.
Right. But then again, you look at the Bills and it's their total defense right now. Again, playing bums, they're only ninth.
Yeah.
They're ninth in total defense, playing Rattler,
I
playing
still have them
Jets
high up, but I
backups.
still have them high up on my power rankings just because, yes, they are 4-0 and they're beating the teams that, have only won one game. But they do it handedly, in my opinion. They're making it look easy. Even when they're not playing great, they're making it look easy. But yeah. And Honey Bunny, thank you for talking with Great Megamind. If you want to be the part of the Bills Mafia, you just got to learn how to jump through tables. So,
That's true.
and he can explain that for you.
You would be perfect to jump through a table if you were like, let's say, like a BBW or something like that. That is an inside joke only she will get because I know who this is. But uh
That
and
I
that's
I
that's
think
just
I
her.
think I know who that is then now. All right, moving
But
on.
so and also let's move on to with the AFC, let's move on to the Ravens Chiefs game because we can tie this into the Bills. Before the season started, we said the threats to win the AFC and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl were Bills Ravens, right? What we've seen from the Bills, they've played okay against the worst teams in the league. What we've seen from the Ravens, they're now 1-3. They're losing again. They're losing a bunch of people on defense, or they've lost a bunch of people on defense. They're losing these games because their defense is second worst in the league, only behind the Cowboys. The Chiefs started 0-2, and they started what is it, 1-2, and then won this game to go to 2-2. We know what happens when teams are go 2-2, Casino. I know you don't want to hear this. There is a real possibility that this is the perfect season for the Chiefs to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl because their two main guys, again, I don't think the Bills are nearly as good as their record indicates. The Ravens are much worse than we thought they would be. This is a season where the Chiefs can come in and steal a Super Bowl from the AFC. Again, you look around the league, there's question marks about the Bills, there's question marks about the Eagles. Those are the only two 4-0 teams. Everybody else you can make just statements where it's like, we know what's wrong with the Bucks. The Bucks have injuries. They're losing guys left and right. The Lions, we saw how they played in that weird
Mhm.
Packers game. Are they back on track? NFC West, all those teams are just going to beat on each other. And again, from the AFC or NFC East, the Commanders are already dealing with injuries. They're the oldest team in the league. You can across the board be like, who is going to compete for a Super Bowl? And I think now we have to start looking at the Chiefs and be like, this is perfectly set up. they had this commanding, they were behind, they were bottom of the division. The Broncos are not nearly as good as we thought they were. The Raiders are falling apart. The Chargers just lost to the Giants, where they could have been the third undefeated team. This is shaping up. And again, I'm no Chiefs fan. I don't think what is it? There's no part of me that wants to see another Chiefs Super Bowl, but they're slowly getting guys back. Worthy reasserted himself last year, or reasserted himself from last year in this game. Patrick Mahomes, 25-37, 270 yards, 67% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Like this, it's inevitable. I can
No,
see
I
the
see.
snowball
Everything
slowly
that you're
forming and
saying,
building.
everything. Okay, we know we have issues with that Ravens defense, right? I am putting it on that. I think this is more of a Ravens look defeated than it does the Chiefs are looking like they are going to go off and win the Super Bowl.
But again, the Ravens
I could,
offense is elite. And by the third quarter, Lamar Jackson's sitting on a bench by himself. Apparently, it was an injury, even though there were no
yeah.
doctors
Okay,
around
so
him,
he's
never went to the blue tent. Like,
fair point. What if he's just pissed off because his defense can't do anything and he's tired of just putting this team on his back for years and years and years and years? Like that could be one thing. I mean, honestly, I'm not sold on the Chiefs yet. All right. They have the Jags coming up away. That's most likely going to be a win, but it could be feisty. We just saw with the Jags. Like they're hot and cold. We just don't know what we get from Trevor Lawrence. If the Lions go into Arrowhead, which again, they're playing all these wonderful games in Arrowhead, so dumb. So dumb. But anyway, Lions going into Arrowhead, if the Lions just blow them out, Chiefs are done. I'm back on that Chiefs train. If the
ugh.
Chiefs destroy the Lions, then I'm gonna have to just swallow my pride and be like, okay, we're screwed.
Well, again, you look at the Chiefs' schedule. The only two teams they play with the winning record, or the only what 4 teams they play with the winning record are Jaguars, which you and I don't think are a good team at all. They play the Lions, which we both do think is a good game or is a good team. So again, I agree with you. They get blown up by the Lions. Maybe we take a step back. But after that, they play the Bills and the Colts. So they always lose to the Bills during the regular season and then beat them in the playoffs. And again, we just saw the Colts lose a game where Daniel Jones had 2 turnovers and kind of lost them that game against the Rams. So who knows in these big games if Daniel Jones steps up enough to win. Other than that, they're playing the Broncos twice. They're playing the Raiders twice. They're playing the Texans. They're playing the Titans. They're playing the Cowboys. These are all realistically, you're looking at the Chiefs' schedule right now. They play 3 good teams the rest of the entire season. Like this is the start where we thought the Ravens beating the Chiefs
Mhm.
was going to be the jump start the Ravens needed to then just start reeling off wins.
Well, we
What
thought that
in
for
re
both teams. Like, and
Yeah,
that's the jumping point off now for the Chiefs. Most likely, I'm still waiting. I want to see what they do with the Lions. If they can handle the Lions, then again, I'll swallow my pride and I'll
but
what
again, you're nervous.
I
You're
am.
nervous.
No, I am.
Yeah.
I am. Again, let's talk about another team that is 2-2 and potentially a Super Bowl winning team here. Got the Patriots
Oh
playing.
God.
Yeah, I'm just. I just said they're 2-2. I've been waiting to be able to say that. But no, they look good. So Patriots Panthers. I mean, Panthers didn't show up. They showed up last week against the Falcons. They did not show up this week. Look what the Patriots can do. This is what I expected them to do this season. I expected them going into the Bills game next week, 3-1, and then losing that game. But what they did to the Panthers is what I expected. You don't turn over the football. You try to keep your penalties low, and which they didn't do so great there either. But they have so many turnovers. They have most penalties. When they don't do that and they don't shoot themselves in the foot, this team could have been 4-0. I mean, they were 5 turnovers against the Steelers, and they still were within a touchdown, 1-score game, which is nuts. And then in the Raiders game, first game of the season, that was doable. That was doable, but is what it is at that point. I like the Patriots, and I like them moving forward. There's a lot of teams that they can beat. Before the season started, I did have the Bengals a loss in my mind. I could see them beating that team, and I still kind of sit with everything else on where I'm at. So I'm not too worried about the Patriots. I think they're good. That was a statement win that they needed to show me that they can still potentially make the playoffs and be a 10-win team this season. Um, they have the Bills coming up. If they show good fight against the Bills, I would feel more comfortable with that. I don't expect them to win that game by any means. I think the Bills will go 5-0 to start this season, but good for the Patriots. I'm happy for them. Drake May looked great. You had this stat about him and Tom Brady. We want to bring that one up again.
The what?
The stat
Tom
Brady.
Yeah. So I shared this during the TikTok. This is insane if you think about it for Drake May. So it says, and this is by Jack Andrade on Twitter. So shout out to him for finding this out because this is insane. It says Drake May has had a 75% completion percentage and thrown 2+ touchdown passes in 3 consecutive games. The only other NFL player in NFL history with a longer streak within a single season, it is Tom Brady, who did it 4 games for the Patriots in week 1 through 4 of his first MVP season in 2007.
Drake May MVP this year. Let's go.
And he won the MVP that year. So again,
I like Drake. I like Drake May. And again, if that defense was good and our running backs didn't screw up game 3 against the damn Steelers, this team could have a better record. So I'm really happy about this team. They did give Travion Henderson a lot more touches this game. Ramondre still had the most, but they spread it out. So good on the Patriots. Sorry, Bryce Young. You're turning back into a pumpkin.
Well, and again, I think with Drake May, the thing I like is just he's so efficient with the football. He protects the football because he's only thrown 2 interceptions, and then he's mobile.
And that one fumble wasn't on him. And one of the interceptions was a really good play by the lineman that got the finger on it. That would have been a touchdown. You saw the trajectory. It was not going to get picked by the corner or whoever was covering him. It was a great throw until it got tipped. And then the fumble was not on him. That was, blindside. You get fucking smoked. That happens as a quarterback. So, I like Drake May. He's playing well, and I'm happy to see that he's doing well. We just need to get that defense, the secondary, up to speed a little bit more. I know we're running low on time, so let's get a couple games in.
Let's just give me your thoughts on, I think the games that there's not really much to say because either they were incredibly boring or don't really mean anything in the long run. Let's say the Cleveland Browns lose 34-10 against the Detroit Lions, and then the Houston Texans win 26-0 against the Titans.
Yeah, the Browns, their Browns defense good, but not good enough to stop that super.
Get Flacco out of there.
Yeah, not good enough for the juggernaut offenses. And speaking of offense, they need to get Gabriel in, or even Shedeur Sanders in there to see what they got. Raiders, Bears, that was fun. My coworker was at that game. The one I have talked about plenty on this podcast, being from Chicago, being a Bears fan. So he was super happy. Geno Smith, you're a pumpkin. I'm taking you. I might drop you from my fantasy team, not even as a bench player. Like you're done. You're done. You're basic.
You're basic.
Wait,
Megamind's back. He said Chiefs are not making the Super Bowl. Travis is too old. Again, we don't want them to make the Super Bowl. He is old and he is playing bad. I'm just saying it's a real possibility. And I had this moment where I just said, oh no, like it's lining up. So you can see the blocks moving into place where the Chiefs are.
I need to see them play a team that isn't one of the worst defenses in the league. And that looks like they've given up already. Lamar looks like he's given up. So moving forward.
Hold on. Breaking news. Great Megamind said, guy on right looks like Henry Cavill. That's the best compliment I've ever had in my life. Thank you so much.
Is this your friend?
I have no idea who this guy is. I just know he speaks the truth. So,
I mean, we've always said Ryan Reynolds for years. We always said Ryan Reynolds for years.
Honey
You've
Ben
always looked
said,
like
"Do
Ryan.
not tell him that. He will never let this go." That is 100% correct. One person needs to say it for it to be fact. I will say it for the rest of my life. Great Megamind. You're not our number one fan. I'm your number one fan. Thank you so much. But getting back to the games, Houston, Tennessee, again,
Yeah,
was tonight's what is it? Tonight's Monday night game between the Jets and the Dolphins. You picked as the worst game. I picked Titans Texans as the worst game. Jets Dolphins has a lot it has to do to be a worse game than
it does.
the Texans Titans game, which was 6-0 heading into the fourth quarter.
Eesh.
And then I don't know
No,
the
you
Texans.
might get a point on that one. You might get a point on that
Well,
one.
also, you said on the TikTok our picks were bad this week. We are going into Monday night's game. You picked 5 correct. I picked 4 correct. So we had the worst game we've had in maybe 2 seasons this
Yeah,
week.
this has not been a good pick. This has not been good. This has not been
And
good.
for some reason, a lot is riding on that Jets Dolphins game because that's a potential 2-point swing either way. So those 2 games, the last one I wanted to talk about where we can just kind of skim through because I don't know what to make of either of these teams. The Falcons win 34-27 after getting blown out by the Panthers last week, after the Commanders blew out the Raiders
Yeah.
last week.
So as I
Both
said on
these
the
teams play a completely different game this
Yeah,
week.
I mean, they're both 2-2, and I think that's right on par, right? I think that's right on par. Not sure what we're gonna get. I think both these teams are kind of like what the Texans were last year. Good, bad. I'm worried for the Commanders moving forward. Jaden Daniels seems to be a little banged up. Falcons, I don't know what we get with them. I don't know what we're gonna get. I think they are truly the Texans of last year, up, down, and they'll be right there into it until they're not,
Yeah.
probably. So moving on from that, we did have your game we didn't touch on, Eagles Bucks. Also, great game. Everything I expected this game to be, which is Baker trying to come back and win the game. Looked good. This was fun. This was fun. I know a lot of people are not high on the Bucks like I am. I like the Bucks, and that is mainly because this team puts up a fight. They put up a fight against this game. They were so in the hole in this game, and they still almost came back and won against the defending champions who have now won 20 of their last 21 games. Like this
Yeah.
is the how can you say the Bucks aren't legit when that yes, they might not have the best stats or they might not look pretty, but guess what? The grind is real and they get it done. So good on
Yeah.
the Eagles for staying undefeated. That still helps my take that they're going to go undefeated to the Super Bowl and then lose.
There's no way.
Um, it's a possibility.
I
It's a
mean, it is a
possibility. I want you to
possibility.
feel the pain that I did back in the day. So Bucks look good. Eagles look great. And then obviously Packers,
Whoa,
Cowboys.
whoa, whoa. I have to talk about Eagles Bucks Casino.
No,
Uh
I'm just trying to help you get out of here.
I know. It's so Eagles Bucks again. I don't know why the Eagles again. The Eagles are 4-0, which as my team I love. Watching the games, I don't understand how the Eagles can be so night and
Mr.
day
Dumpy
different.
Lore.
I don't. The comments are just on the screen now. So go watch the YouTube to just see Honey Bunny roasting me, and then great Megamind coming in and having my back and complimenting me. Thank you so much. But no, when it comes to Eagles Bucks, I
We'll never
agree
talk
with
about the
you.
Mets again.
Yeah, I agree with you that Tampa Bay, I think, is without question a top 10 team right now in the NFL. I think they're a team, especially nobody
They
wants to
make my
play at
top
home.
10.
Yeah, especially no team wants to play Tampa Bay when they're at home because they have such an advantage with the heat and humidity and all that kind of stuff. And you see that in games. Like in this game, the second half Eagles look tired, they look exhausted, and they look like they were just done playing in that kind of heat. But what I will say is
Or is that
they're
just Jalen Hurts showing no emotion ever?
well, yeah, but again, to get back to what is it with the Eagles, it's just like they played an awful, awful first half of football against the
Mhm.
Rams and then came out and played the best second half you're going to see by any team, any game this season. This time, they come out and play a great first half. They're doing it on special teams, they're doing it on defense, the offense is humming, and then they just come out at halftime don't really move the ball at all. Don't they score points on turnovers and stuff like that, but have the worst offense you've ever seen. And then it's just like we've seen the Cowboys game. They had no offense outside of Hurts. We saw the Chiefs game, which was like a defensive back and forth. We saw Rams first half abysmal, second half great. This game, first half great, second half abysmal. This team's 4-0, and I haven't seen them play a good game since. Like in all those 4 games, I haven't seen them
Very
play
true.
one good game. So again, you can look at that one of two ways. When this team finally puts it together, they're the best team in the league, and the games they're going to play are going to blow the doors off teams, right? Or you can say this team never figures it out, and all of a sudden we're back in a year where they have this great record and then just get annihilated in their first playoff game and they're done. So again, I said week 5 is where I want to see where I start making my case for certain teams. Like this game against the Broncos coming up, it's a great defense. Broncos offense is kind of subpar. I need to see a complete game from them, either good or bad, to finally know what this team is. And again, you're welcome that we're short on time, and you just saved yourself 20 minutes of me ranting about the calls in this Bucks Eagles game. So which were abysmal for both sides, abysmal. Next up, let's go with what ended up being the blowout or the upset of the week that neither of us predicted. Another NFC team, the Giants, upsetting the Chargers 21-18. uh what is it, 21-18, the first time I think ever an 0-3 team has beaten a 3-0 team. If I don't think that's ever happened before. I think I heard that somewhere, I think on Dan Patrick or whatever.
Yeah.
But uh thoughts on Jackson Dart and
Good for
this
Jackson
Giants
Dart.
team?
I mean, this was more the Chargers lost this game, in my opinion. Justin Herbert kind of looked like what you normally think of Justin Herbert, you personally. But Dart looked good. I mean, I'm excited that he got his shot out here, and Scatabo looked fine. This was just kind of an ugly game, in my opinion. I didn't really like the flow of this game, but good for Jackson Dart. Good for him to come out, get a touchdown. He actually had 2. He had a passing and a rushing touchdown. He looked good doing it. And good on him. Good on him. Now he has room to grow. New York probably found themselves a decent quarterback. I'm not going to say good, great, or whatever, but he looks capable. And you could probably try to mold that into something. But Russ, you're done. Get out of here. Glad you're on a 1-year deal if I was a Giants fan.
Yeah. Well, also, you look around the league and it's just like, why are the Bengals not trading for Russell Wilson? Why are these teams that, again, have all these pieces except a quarterback that's
Well,
injured
the
or
Bengals
whatever?
are the Bengals.
Well, that's true. But again,
That
you
means
can
spending
afford
money.
him. You can afford Russ. He's
They
playing on a
can't
1-year deal.
they can afford it, but it's the Bengals. When have you known them to ever spend any money?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, that's
They got
the
one of the best
short
quarterbacks
of
in the
it.
league, and they will not spend money to make sure that he doesn't die.
That's
Oh,
true.
guess what? He's out for the season.
Also out for the season, which is sad news for the Giants, is Malik Neighbors. Again, as an Eagles fan, I've never hated the Giants because we always beat them. So they've never been like a team I've hated or rooted against. My stepdad is a big Giants fan, so I talked on Thursday or on Wednesday last week about how exciting I think the future of the Giants is with Scattaboo and Neighbors, and now if Jackson Dart is good as he looked in this game, and he'll only get better. Like, again, I think if you're a Giants fan, your defense is improved. Your offense has all these fun young players. Like, this is a team that you kind of look at and you're like, hey, this year is probably going to be rough, but the next 2 years, like,
Yeah, but
I
it's
think
still the
they
Giants organization. They've got to get something figured out.
well, especially with that coaching staff. Like, are these the right guys? I
No,
don't know. I
I
don't
don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so. I can't believe Dayball came back this year. But outside of that, the Chargers casino, they have the AFC West on a silver platter about to be handed to them with the Chiefs struggling, Denver not being what they thought, and then the Raiders finding new ways to lose every week. Then they charger and shit the bed, lose this game that every one and their brother had them blowing out this Giants team. Are you starting to doubt that this Chargers team will elevate?
No, this was no, this was week 4. This is week 4. Again, you have some leeway all the way through the first 4 weeks, in my opinion. Unless
Yeah.
you're the Chiefs, you still suck. So we'll see moving forward on that. So I'm
Well,
not too worried
also,
about the Chargers. Their coaching is fine. They're going to get it figured out. I mean,
they kind of,
there was such a hype on Jackson Dart. Like getting that win is a huge thing for them.
yeah. Well, also the Chargers, again, they played all divisional games except for this one up until this point. But then their schedule, they have Colts, Vikings, Steelers, Jaguars if
Yeah, we'll
Jags
see
end up
what they're
being
made of.
good.
We'll see what Harbaugh can do.
Yeah. Also, Eagles, December 8th, Monday Night Football. That looks like it's going to be a good game. Eagles Chargers. I was going to go to that game, but if it was any other day, I might have. But or any other week, I should say. Last couple games we're touching on here, Casino. We got
Rams, Colts.
yeah, we got, I think, 3 or 4 left. So let's just quickly go through these. Rams win 27-20
I think
in
it's just
a game.
Rams, Colts, Packers, Cowboys. I think that's it.
Well, let's briefly touch on actually let's do these two real quick. Jags win 26-21 in San Francisco, and then Bears win in Las Vegas 25-24 after blocking a game-winning kick.
Yeah.
Thoughts on these two?
Kind of already talked about the Bears one, right? So I just said that.
Well, that was TikTok.
No, I thought I just did it here.
Oh, no, you did with your coworker. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so let's talk about what was the other one you said? Sorry.
Jags, 49ers.
Jags and 49ers. I'm glad that the Niners are not 4-0. I can actually sleep soundly, and I did. It was great. Actually, I didn't. I got home late, and it was rough. Anyway, but Jags again. I almost predicted this. I said Jags were going to lead going into the 4th, and then they're going to blow it, and Niners are going to come back. Outside of that fumble,
yeah,
the Niners would have won this game, and I would have walked off in the sunset and called myself the Oracle for the week.
Again, how are the Jaguars 3-1? I do not understand it.
I don't know.
It
My
makes
old
no
coworker
sense.
who said that he picked the Jags for this division, he might be onto something.
Oh God. Well, also, especially with, and we can tie this into the Colts, and also when it comes to the Bears Raiders, again, Geno Smith has thrown 3 interceptions in half the games he's played as a Raider. I don't know what's going on with Geno Smith, but they're losing games because he can't stop turning the ball over. It's nice to see Genty though having a good game. But let's tie that the Jacksonville Jaguars into their AFC South team, the Colts. The Colts were undefeated.
The Colts should be undefeated.
Yeah, with that, that's one of the craziest plays you're ever going to see is that wide receiver fumbling the ball out of the back of the end zone on just that amazing catch and run where he's dodging like 3 guys, gets to the end zone, and then the ball, it looked like he was trying to celebrate. It also looked like he just got too excited and like lost the ball in his hand. I don't know that again, that play is so weird, but they do that. They do 1 or 2 other things in that game. They're winning this game against the Rams. So I think this game says much more about the Colts than it does the Rams. We know the Rams are good. Most people pick the Rams to be in either the Super Bowl or NFC Championship before the start of the season. So with the Colts to be that blow for blow with the Rams, I think I'm more impressed with the Colts coming out of a loss.
I'm way more impressed with the Colts because they should have won this game.
Yeah, they should have. The Colts should have won this game.
I love them.
And again,
I think they're great. My hot take with Daniel Jones coming out and just crushing it. There's too many Daniels and Danielsons and but Daniel Jones coming out and having a good season. I thought he would be good. I didn't know that they were going to be this good as a team, but I knew that he was going to do well with what he got around him. So this is awesome. Go Colts. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, and especially with the Texans shit in the bed. Like this is just open season for either the Colts or Jags to rise to the top and just take back the AFC South. So
games.
Last game to talk about before we get out of here, Casino. The Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys play one of the most fun games you're ever going to watch, and then it ends with a wet fart with just it being a tie. You and I both hate ties. There's no way we
Yeah,
have been
they're
doing this
so
podcast.
constricting, like, I can't stand. Oh, got it. My bad.
Well, I do hate ties too. I
I
hate
do
all
too.
ties,
I
but there's no way in 3 years we haven't done a rant about tie games on this podcast. So we'll save them the tie rant. Go watch our TikTok for the tie rant. But
the tyrant.
see, there you
Ah!
go.
Yeah,
But
good.
outside of that, takeaways from this game.
Uh, I guess Green Bay's defense isn't as good as we thought, or is it just Dak is playing really good this season? And I honestly think it's Dak playing really good this season. I'm not going to take anything away from that Green Bay defense just yet. I just think Dak's been showing he can put up some numbers, even with
Yeah.
CD out. He knows
I
what
think
he's
that's
doing.
the thing. With
I think
CD
Dak.
out of this game, they still put out
I
40.
think
That's
Dak is
crazy.
playing one of his better, one of his better, if not best seasons right now. I like everything Dak's doing, and I think this is more a testament to him than that defense not playing so well for the Packers in one game. They've shown they can play in every single other game. Almost. Well, no, I mean, even the loss to the Browns, they showed that they can do it. That was more that offense not being able to move the football.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Dak, go Dak, good for him.
Yeah. And talking about the Seahawks or
And
talking about the Raiders, it was he said Genius Smith was better on the Seahawks. I think that's obvious. And then Honey Bunny said damn Daniel, which I believe is a meme from 10 years ago.
yeah, check
So
your
great
shoes.
job. But yeah, when it comes to Packers Cowboys, again, going into this game, we knew Cowboys are going to score points. Their defense is going to give up a lot of points. What we did not expect was the Green Bay defense to also give up 40 points. Like that is
No, I mean, yeah, that's rough, man. I mean, Parsons was able to get to him once, and you were like not even counting that as a sack. So I
I
mean,
don't think we should count that as a sack.
that's fair.
Dak was running, he was past the line of scrimmage, so it's technically a rush. So and again, Micah Parsons tackling him there saved the Cowboys from getting a touchdown. So it was a impactful play. It just wasn't a sack, it was just a tackle. But again, all the bettors are ecstatic that DraftKings and FanDuel counted that as a sack because there was apparently a lot of money on Micah Parsons getting at least one sack in this game. So there you have it, Casino. This has been the Only Sports Podcast, a very loaded That's Only Sports Podcast that
Yeah,
I'm surprised we fit everything in that like we did.
yeah. I mean, and if we didn't have that rough start, sorry, we would have rolled. We would have rolled.
But we are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays when I don't go to the dentist. So we will see you. I have no dentist appointment this Friday. So I will be back on Friday with the power rankings. Wednesday, we're going to be doing our top 10 NFL teams right now. We'll pick all the games for this weekend. And it is the return of Casino's Corner on Wednesday. We'll see you Wednesday. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. Anything to say, Casino, before we get out of here?
It's the spooky season.
And shout out Megamind and Honey Buns and everybody else who joined us on this one. The show is more fun live when we have people commenting on it.
Mhm.
So when you're watching, comment. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. Only Sports Podcast. See you Wednesday.